good can new Chicago Bears quarterback Justin Fields be? What is his potential? Let's talk about it. What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NFL, and here to talk about Chicago Bears. So if you're a Bears fan, make sure to hit that big red subscribe button down below. Make sure to follow me on all my social media platforms, guys, and make sure you hit the bell icon so you're notified every time I drop a new video, because I do so every single day. You don't want to miss out. So let's get into it. All right, so this was a question brought up by one of you guys. That's why I would say I love when you guys reach out and ask questions, because sometimes I might make a video about it, okay? So make sure you guys go ahead and do that, okay? So it's a very simple question, right? What is Justin Fields' potential? Okay, what's his potential? And I'm going to take it a step further, all right? And I'm going to talk about his ceiling, kind of his middle tier, and then worst case scenario. So I'm going to go 3 layers deep on this and analyze it, all right? Because here's the thing, folks. Look, every Bears fan I know, including myself, we're over the moon happy about Justin Fields. We finally feel like we found our franchise quarterback, and we very well could have, but we won't know, obviously, until we see Justin on the field, and that might not even happen this season, right? Andy Dalton is expected to be a starting quarterback, so we might have to wait a season to see Justin Fields, but doesn't mean we can't talk about this, all right? So potential-wise, let's talk about Justin Fields' skill set, his strengths, his weaknesses. Look, the list of strengths, I mean, the list is never ending. There's so many, right? Rocket of an arm, great arm strength, can make all the throws. He's accurate, leads receivers, dual threat quarterback. Like everything that you want in a quarterback, he's got it, all right? In terms of all of the fundamentals. So really, does he have any negatives? And what can you poke holes in Justin Fields in? Well, a couple of things maybe, sometimes he can get rattled by the pocket. His pocket awareness needs to improve a little bit. Doesn't check down enough. Maybe he forces it too deep sometimes. Things like that. And so there really isn't a lot. But again, there's a couple. And to me, taking a look at his potential, if Justin Fields' skill set translates to the NFL and everything that I talked about from, him being able to be accurate, but also being a dual threat quarterback and providing that, to me, the best case scenario, the ceiling, it's got to be Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson, right? It's got to be at that level. That's top 3, top 5 quarterback level. And that's what's so exciting, right? That's the reason why Bears fans are hyped, because we don't just have a franchise quarterback. We have a potential top 5 if he hits his ceiling quarterback, all right? I see a lot of the same similarities here with Deshaun and with Russ, who are accurate, who have rocket of an arm. They're dual threat quarterbacks. And Justin Fields brings similar things to the table. So that's the best case scenario to me in my head. All right? And taking a look at Justin Fields and his strengths and weaknesses. What's the middle tier? Maybe it's not, completely incredible, but what is the middle tier for Justin Fields? Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is the middle tier. Dak Prescott's a solid, he's not an average quarterback. He's above average, but he's a solid, steady quarterback. And he just gets the job done, right? I don't think Dak Prescott's a top 5 quarterback. I think he's a top 10 to 15 quarterback, okay? Certainly on the higher end of that. Another guy, Kyler Murray. Now, again, Justin Fields isn't as much of a runner as Kyler is, but you see it. And so with Dak and Kyler, we're not going to say these guys are elite quarterbacks, at least not yet. I don't think Dak is, and I don't think Kyler is elite in the level of Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson, but they are franchise quarterbacks. They can get the job done. So that, to me, kind of the middle tier. Worst case, this is really hard, because there's really no player comps I have in my head that I see that actually fit the worst case scenario. All right? Worst case scenario would be, he's erratic, he can't, he gets rattled by the blitz, he throws the ball too many times in the other, obviously, DB's hand, so throws too many interceptions, like turnover prone. So who does that remind you of, right? Like a guy like a Carson Wentz, right? When he's imploding. I don't even want to say like Jared Goff, because I don't see the comparison there in terms of style of play. But you get my point, right? Maybe Derek Carr, but Derek Carr is a solid quarterback. He's steady, all right? He doesn't really turn the football over a lot. But to me, honestly, folks, like the worst case scenario is not as bad as you think, right? If we're talking about Carson Wentz, which again, I'm not saying I love that comparison. I really am having a difficult time thinking of a worst case scenario comparison. Maybe you guys can give me a good one, but essentially, even Carson Wentz is a guy who's still a starting quarterback. So to me, Justin Fields, the ceiling is so high that it's top 3 to top 5 quarterback. His middle tier is top 10 to 15. And then worst case, we're talking about a top 20 quarterback. I don't see any scenario where Justin Fields turns out to be, another Blake Bortles, a Ryan Leaf, like one of the worst quarterbacks ever, right? Like in terms of the NFL. So I don't see that. That's how I see his potential. So let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below. What do you think is Justin Fields' potential in the NFL? Let me know. As always, thanks for watching.